Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. It's Trivia Tuesday, and I think I got some fun trivia questions for you guys today. I don't know if they're going to be hard enough, but if you have no idea what we're talking about, I feel like they're going to be really easy and fun to guess the answers to. So it should be fun either way, and there's no prizes, there's no points, so it's all here just to have fun. If you're listening in on the podcast version today, hope you're having a good run out there right now. There's no like images that are going to go along with this one, so this should be fun for you guys to play along with too as well. And for everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you've got a nice beverage, a nice recovery beverage to kick back and relax with. I've got my afternoon coffee. I'm enjoying it. It's freshly brewed, piping hot, just the way I like it. So I'm very excited about that. And today's subject is going to be the bestest sponsorships, the bestest running sponsors. I forget what the title was. Something along those lines, the word bestest in it. The idea being, we've talked about this on this live stream before too, is like, there's traditional running sponsorships, the big brands, Nike, Adidas, Hoka, New Balance, Saucony, like all those that are out there. There's the traditional ones. Then there's like newer ones that are coming up, like Athleta, Lululemon. Like there's other people like Wiesel, Tracksmith that are getting in the game that are not shoe companies, but are in the running space. But I think some of the bestest running sponsors are the ones that are just completely unrelated to running. Like we've talked before about like, what's his name? Phil Mickelson. He's sponsored by KPMG. I would love to be sponsored by like Rocket Mortgage or something like that. Not that I'm looking for sponsorships, but like if they're, if it came up, I'd be very interested in discussions about being sponsored by Rocket Mortgage, just something completely unrelated to running that wouldn't affect anything going on with the channel. So I could still do kind of everything I wanted to, but not have any impact in terms of reviews. But there are some runners that are getting it done and making it happen with those kinds of weird sponsorships. And that's what the trivia is going to be about today. Before we get to that, let's talk about some people who are in the chat. Christian says, stumbling into Tuesday trivia, wondering if Mike could ever discuss the Brooks or BL. What the heck is that? I haven't discussed the Brooks or BL today yet, but I've seen it. I've seen Believe in the Run in it. I think their videos about it were super fun. Definitely had like a BC Boys vibe to it, like an intergalactic vibe to it in their video. So I super enjoyed that one. A lot of fun. But it's a shoe that I just I'm not that interested in it. It's like $300. It looks weird. It's probably never going to have an update. It's an experimental shoe, and I'm not as interested in those experimental shoes. And frankly, it looks a lot like the Salomon Predict RA, which I didn't love because it had that like decoupled pieces of foam to help, for the shoe and the foam to like bend according to your foot a little bit better. And I was like, I don't feel it. I didn't feel it in the Salomon. And so I'm not that excited about what's going on with the Brooks. So it's interesting. I'm glad they're making it. You got to make weird shoes to make good news, to innovate. It's part like it's you don't have to make weird shoes in order to innovate, but like it comes with the territory. So I think it's awesome that they're doing it. All right. Frank says, what's going on, Frank? He says, I think you wear that Osprey belt down lower if you tighten quite hard around the hips. I find a water belt works better if you're really able to tighten it down. Yeah, I think so. I think I could. But I'm worried. I felt like I had it cinched down pretty hard the first time I wore it. And it was like the cinch part, there's a buckle there that was kind of like digging into some of my abdomen. And I was like, I don't know if that's going to feel good after all. But maybe if I get it lower and that part is then on my like hip bones, maybe that like my pelvic bones, like I guess, what is that? The iliac crests. Maybe that would help. I'm not sure. Albert Lungus here says, hello, everyone. Recycle on Wednesday. What's going on? Good to see you. And Frank Louis says, so what happened to Donovan Brazier? I mean, I think he said it perfectly. He had a crappy race. Yeah, said he was running math. I don't know. He seemed pretty like not fired up. He seemed emotional a little bit about it, disappointed, a bit angry about how his race went when he was interviewed afterwards. But this is a real surprise. I've only been watching like replays of the events on Twitter. So like Twitter has been keeping me abreast of what's going on with the track trials. I haven't actually sat down to watch. I have a lot of it taped and recorded, so I can watch it later. And I'll know who wins what. But as far as like the prelims and stuff go that I have, like I'm not going to remember. So it'll be fun to kind of watch people race. But yeah, but I don't know. Well, we were gone last weekend, and then I don't know. It just kind of got away from me, and then just by the time I'm always on my phone, I'm always looking at Twitter. And so I already know. So it's like, well, I'm not going to go over here watch those races now. Maybe I'll catch them at night. But it's the last day of school for my daughter. So like we're really excited about that. And we're trying to do some summer planning and stuff. So I haven't sat down and watched as much of it as I thought I would. I haven't sat down to watch any of it. I've only been watching it on Twitter and some on Instagram, what people are replaying. So there's that. But that race was a tremendous finish. All right. Dylan Barstow says, I PR'd at Montrose track today with a 1944 for the 5K. Nice work. Where's that sound? There we go. Yeah, there we go. Good job, Dylan. First sub 20. That's speedy. Really good work out there today. Nice. Yeah, Martha also was wondering what happened to him. Yeah, he didn't have any other explanation except that he just had a bad race. Richard Smart is here again, says greetings from Parker Heights, Texas. Good to see you again, Richard. And yeah. Leona says, hi, co-fam. If Kerry Smith gets on Cal for his virtual marathon and assume Scotty B got his for grandma's. Yeah, where's Scotty? And where's Kerry? And we'll see if we see him. Let me know if we see him. All right. All right. Oh, it just jumped on me. So I guess I got to catch up. So sorry if I missed your tweet. Oh, here's one from Leona. Another one from Leona says, your dream marathon, Tokyo, is not allowing international runners till 2023. FYI, I hope I'll be there then. I have a feel. Wow, that's going to be weird. I mean, what's up with Japan? They're always closing their doors to the rest of the world. Not really. That was a weird joke. But, I might be ready to go then. Yeah, maybe I'll try. Maybe we should all try to do Tokyo. I feel like the whole world's going to try to do Tokyo then by 2023 if that's the first time. But I wonder if they'll have other marathons in Tokyo that'll allow international runs. It's just maybe just the world majors they're not going to. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, Scott Allison's here. Says perfect time to start a 5-mile run and listening to Uzi. Awesome, Scott. And Brett Reed is ready for Trivia Tuesday. All right. Let's say hi to a couple more people and then we'll get started with the game. Looks like Dr. Josh is here. He says, what up, fam? Good to see you, Josh. And Stick on Tree says, good morning from Seattle. Aditya Roy says, I just bought a Float Ride Grow. Did you find the sole too firm or did it soften over time? It's a bit of on the firm side as far as foams go. And so that's just the nature of how that foam responds. I'm not sure that it softens over time so much as you get used to it. Your body understands what it's getting a little bit more. So like if you were looking for something super squishy, like the Nova Blast or something like that, and got the Reebok Float Ride Grow instead, it's never going to become like that squishy. But I think that one of the things that you do with a shoe like that is, it changes your stride a little bit, changes your foot strike a little bit when it's a little bit firmer. And it also depends on kind of what paces you're running in it in terms of how soft it feels underfoot. So like if not speed, but I mean effort levels. And so for like a super slow, easy run, like today I had a recovery run. My legs are pretty beat up. I had a track workout yesterday. And so I just went super slow. Like on a day like today, I would want something big, soft, and cushy. I ran in the New Balance Fresh Flow More version 3. It's a good choice for me. I wouldn't probably pick the Float Ride for that kind of thing. So it just depends on kind of what kind of effort levels you're putting in it as well. All right. Let's get to the first question. All right. So I was talking about the bestest running sponsors. So these are people who are companies that are sponsoring runners, even though those aren't running companies. So the first question, I think it'll make sense once I give you the first question. And today I wrote the questions yesterday, then I had to update them to reflect results from like the past, like last night. Or the past couple of nights, because I hadn't been following up on exactly whether they were aspiring Olympians or made the teams or whatever. But here we go. Here's the first one. Question number 1. Which 1500 meter Olympian is sponsored not only by milk, as in like I'm assuming, is it the American Dairy Industry Association Council? I'm not sure what it is. Like by like the milk, like not like the drink necessarily, but like milk and dairy farmers. This 1500 meter Olympian is sponsored not only by milk, but she also has, I said she, so I gotta give it away. I gave half of it away, or like narrows it down. But she also has a cheese sponsor. So who has a milk sponsor and a cheese sponsor? Martin Sing's a Wisconsin runner. That's a really good guess, but it's actually not a Wisconsin runner, which I feel like that's a missed opportunity for the subject of the next question. But yeah, Dr. Josh has the answer already. And I mean, people have been talking about it a lot. And so a lot of you guys knew it. Duke BB said Carl Lewis. Frank said Mo. Can you believe if Mo Farah had like a cheese sponsorship? That'd be pretty funny. Stevie76 says Dr. Josh has a cheese sponsorship. I would eat cheese that Dr. Josh recommended. That's for sure. But I think Dr. Josh was the first one. He said like Ellie Perrier, St. Pierre, which I feel like is the most like incredibly awesome name for a runner. Like Perrier, St. Pierre. I just feel like it sounds royal. So I feel like for someone that's gonna be wearing gold jewelry hopefully pretty soon. I mean, she's wearing gold medal now because she won the 1500 meters. But hopefully she'll be wearing gold in a couple of weeks or in about a month. But I feel like Ellie Per St. Pierre, amazing. Brian Nee also had it. Scott Anderson had it too. And Adam Fear says she grew up on a dairy farm. She still works at the dairy farm. She's been training there during pandemic times. So she's been up at the farm working there. So yeah, pretty amazing. Yeah, she did a commercial with milk about like it wasn't a commercial, it was just something on Instagram that she did, and apparently she lives really close to the Canadian border. So she's like, did you know Canada's only 20 miles from here? She's like, oh, for real? And she has a habit, she was drinking milk and she's like, hold my milk, and then like they show her going for a run, but I'm watching that and I'm like, does that mean she just put in a 40 miler? Because did someone go pick her up at the border or something? Yeah. But yeah, she's pretty amazing. She looks super strong. Oh wait, Dr. Josh, I forgot you're vegan. Well, you know what? You could have a good, maybe a vegan cheese. Not Daya though. I don't like Daya. Is there another brand that's good out there? I've not had good success with Daya. Yesterday I tweeted out that if I had a cheese sponsor, it would be Velveeta. Because do you know what their Twitter handle is? They're at Eat Liquid Gold. So I just feel like that, it's a natural fit. Mark Chanko says, "Who is Shelby Houlihan?" Yeah, no, Martha. Man, you guys love the pork burrito jokes as much as I do. I think Martha wants to know, does anyone have a wild boar sponsorship? Yeah, amazing. Yeah, let's see where we go. Someone said something about Mo. Dave said Mo was sponsored by Corn here in the UK, a veggie vegan alternative food brand. Oh, really? I've heard of Corn before. I didn't know that was a UK brand. CV76 says, imagine if there's a burrito truck in Tokyo. That would be suspicious. It's kind of like the jokes where there's like a plumbing truck, that's like has a surveillance like satellite on top of it when they're like trying to like surveil like the people in the mafia, stuff like that. Like if all of a sudden there were a burrito truck outside like the stadium in Tokyo for the track finals. Oh boy. Dr. Josh says, I asked Greg Doucette, the bodybuilder, to make a video on the pork burrito. Yeah, I just don't think you could get that meat in the US unless like it's a weird like concatenation of facts where like the US food industry or the ag industry has made it really hard for people to like raise and slaughter their own animals. And so like to even find someone that can raise a boar for you that's not castrated I don't even know how you would get that meat. I think we were just supposed to assume that since we were talking about authentic Mexican food, that weird stuff's supposed to be in there. So yeah, I don't know. Mika says, in the UK, Milk Marketing Board used to sponsor so many sports events and people that it became kind of a running joke. Well, it was a joke over here too. There was the Got Milk thing, and it was like several Olympics ago where they had like all the Olympian. I mean, I feel like they had Winter Olympians, they had Summer Olympians, they had beach volleyball players, snowboarders, Shaun White. What's her name? Gabby something. Was she a beach volleyball player? And then a lot of other professional athletes. So it was like a big thing for a long time. So it's been a while since I feel like Milk has sponsored an athlete. So that's why I thought it was kind of cool. All right. Dave said, did you know that Laura Muir from Scotland is a vet as well as an Olympian? I didn't know that. I didn't know she was a vet or an Olympian, or really that she was Scottish. I listened to the podcast, but I guess sometimes I don't hear, like, those things don't jump out at me like that accents. It just sounds not, it's not an American accent, I could tell. So I learned 3 things today. All right. But Dr. Josh says, Greg agrees that the pork caused the Andrew Lemon finding? Well, now I'm going to watch that video. You got to make sure he makes that video. I want to see that. I have a heart. Yeah. And there's a lot, I want to have to eat my words on that later, but there's just a lot of hurdles that I got to get over, I feel like, on that. Mike Ryan wants to know, what's a good supplement for aging knees? I don't know. I've been taking this vegan collagen, which is an oxymoron, like these vegan collagen kind of like precursor things. I don't know that helps me. But I think that, and I'm also not, a medical care provider, but I feel like a lot of times, people want to strengthen the knee, but I feel like you got to strengthen the things around the knee that are supporting the knee. So that way the knee can do what it does normally without having to work overtime. And I feel like a lot of people, when they have knee problems, there's certain congenital things that can happen, not necessarily defects, but certain things that may make you more likely to sustain certain kinds of injuries. But I feel like, some things that I've experienced over the last year, I really feel like making sure that those, like, balance muscles or supporting muscles, making sure that those are strong and that you're working on balance constantly, helps. In range of motion, I think those things help. That's my take on it. Oh, Dr. Josh says he made it already. All right, I'm going to go look for that, and I'll post a link to it in the description if I find it, guys. All right, very cool. Oh, Martha says vet can mean veterinarian or veteran. Oh, did I take that the wrong way? Oh. I had to go to the vet today. I call her the vet. I call him the vet. There's many vets there that the dog sees. So I'm not sure. We'll have to get some clarification on that. All right. Well, let's go to the next question. Number 2. All right. This one's kind of related to the first one in a way, because I feel like this person could also be sponsored by milk and cheese, but this person is not. So which 2016 Olympian and 5,000 meter Olympic finals athlete? So this person didn't make the team, but did make it to the finals, had a good showing. But this athlete has an egg sponsor, like eggs, like the food, like chicken eggs, like which this person was an Olympian in 2016, and 2016 was Rio, right? In Rio, and then made it to the 5,000 meter finals. That person has an egg sponsorship, which I think is pretty amazing. Because she has a Samantha Hen. But Reese has Twitter. Yeah. Casey says the incredible edible egg. I feel like that's for a lot of athletes. I feel like that's a really great sponsor to have. I mean, that's one that would be like, pay me in product. I mean, if you also want to pay me in cash money, that'd be great too. But product is not a bad idea either. Dave says, well, not content with taking the athletics world by storm, Laura achieved many of these feats while completing her veterinary degree at the equally world-beating Glasgow University Veterinary School. Well, that's cool. Interesting. Is she still taking patients? Does she still practice veterinary medicine? CV76 says, how do you like your eggs? I like eggs anyway. If anyone ever asks me, how do you want my eggs? I mean, if I'm at a restaurant, I'll say over easy. That's how I like them. But if anyone's like ever like making me breakfast, Like sometimes I'm like a lot of times my mother-in-law will make me how do you like your eggs? I usually say whatever is easy, but then she's like, seriously, how you want them? So I do tell her over easy would be great. But scrambled are great. I make them in the microwave a lot. My wife makes them in the microwave a lot too. We just make really quick breakfast sandwiches that way. Just beat the egg in a bowl. You can put in a little bit of water or milk, depending on whatever you want to add to it, to just thin it out a little bit. Microwave it for like a minute, and you got like an egg that'll fit perfectly in a sandwich. That's what we do. We love eggs. All right. Let's see. Larry Lawrence says Simpson. No, that's not it. Yeah, Adam Steve, I think you got it. Let's see if anyone got it before you. Yeah. Says Adam Steve says, pretty sure that's Gwen. Yeah, Gwen Jorgensen is sponsored by Pete and Jerry's. It's spelled different. The Jerry spelled different too. So Pete and Jerry's eggs, which I'm like, what egg needs like, is there like a national egg brand? I'm like, is there even such a thing as that? But why would they want to sponsor an athlete? But you know, I've seen Pete and Jerry's eggs in my grocery store. I haven't bought them, but I've seen them in my grocery store. So someone's buying them. But I think that's pretty cool. And I think for an athlete to have an egg sponsorship, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of athletes are eating eggs. Not everyone. Some people are vegan, but yeah. Yeah. So pretty cool. But she also is from Wisconsin. So I feel like that's the person that should have a milk sponsorship and a cheese sponsorship. Do we say what the cheese sponsor is? The cheese sponsor is Cabot cheese, Cabot. Is it Cabot or Cabot? I'm not sure if you're supposed to say it all French-like. But yeah, Cabot. I'm going to say Cabot. Cabot cheese. So I think that's amazing. All right. Ash Kondokar says, any tips for standing and or jogging long hours? For example, 8 hours plus. What about Hoka, Allbirds, or Adidas? I think that, you know, a lot of people like the Hoka Bondi for 8 hours all day. I think I'd probably prefer a pair of Cliftons for 8 hours if I'm standing on my feet all day. If you need it to be slip resistant, Hoka does make a Bondi in a slip resistant version. Like there's just extra grip on the outsole intended for use on like indoor slippery surfaces. So there's that. I've never worn Allbirds before. And then for Adidas, you know, I think that the Ultra Boosts are good. If you're going to be on your feet all day, I'd actually go with the older, like the 3.0 or the 4.0 version. Not like the Ultra Boost 21. I'd go for the older ones. They, I think, are just much more comfortable to stand in. I think they're also much more comfortable to run in, too. Yeah, we're doing live stream, honey. She wants to know if we're doing live stream. I think she's looking over to see if I got any donuts. No donuts today. She's looking over here. She's double checking to make sure. No donuts. Yeah, so those are some that I would look at from Hoka or Adidas. And let's see, we got one more that I want to do. Chris Stapleton says, what was the rabbit gear like? You know, I haven't tested any of it out yet because I wanted to film it. So before I get it all sweaty and gross and run it through the wash, I like to try and do some B-roll of it. And we left like right away after a live stream on Friday. So I didn't have a chance to take it out yet. So I'm looking forward to it, but it probably won't be for a couple of days. That's unfortunate. I really want to get to it. I got some fun stuff coming. My Audios Pro 2 should be coming soon. I think tomorrow they'll be getting here. So yeah, so some fun other stuff as well. Lots of fun stuff happening in the next couple of days. That's why it's delayed, because I got lots of stuff coming. It'll be good. All right. Let's go to question number 3. All right. This one's, I think, might be a little bit tougher. I don't think you guys are gonna be able to get this one. But it's also pretty funny, pretty amazing. So which Olympian, this person made it to the Olympics, is sponsored? Let's see. Yeah, these first three are U.S. Olympians, and then we'll talk about some other. Well, they're not all. I don't think the number 5 is an Olympian, but the last 2 are not American. So the first 3 are American. Well, you'll see. All right. So which Olympian is sponsored for number 3? Which Olympian is sponsored by Duluth Trading Company? And if you're not familiar with what Duluth Trading Company is, it's a brand of clothes best known for extra long t-shirts that help you avoid plumber butt, and pants with a lot of extra room and durability in the seat. So like, you know, people that are like out camping, lumberjacks. I'm not sure who buys Duluth trading. But like, at least from their marketing, they're targeting like a rugged outdoorsman, like someone that shops at Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops, like that kind of person. I feel like Duluth Trading Company is in that vein. I don't know if they sell anything else besides clothes. I actually don't know. I've seen one before. I've never been inside one, but I've seen the commercials. The commercials are amazing. Like, remember when we talked about, you guys remember when we talked about Ron Swanson? Some of you guys were, and some of you guys were not familiar. I feel like Ron Swanson would shop at Duluth Trading Company. Although he might think it a bit fancy, but basically that's what I'm thinking. So who is sponsored by Duluth Trading Company? Mark says, that's an interesting sponsorship, isn't it? Martha says Scotty B. That'd be pretty cool. JC says Minnesota Fats. And Christian says the luge team. Oh, the luge team. Yeah. That would make sense. Let's see. I have to look it up. Adam first says Ryan Krauser. That's not it. Martha says plumber butt cover up. Don't know anyone runners suffering from that syndrome. Well, I'll give you a hint. I did say Olympian. I didn't necessarily say runner. Wasn't Fun Backshore says, are the Highland Games Olympics yet? Well, I mean, like, there's pole vault. That's kind of like the closest thing, right? Maybe. The answer for this is, his name is Joe Kovacs. He's a shot putter. And he went to, I forget which meet he went to, but he went to a meet. He didn't have a title sponsor. So like on his singlet, he had printed on his singlet like space for rent or something like that. Letting people know that he didn't have a sponsor, and he had a monster showing. And as a giant, like shot, he looks like a shot putter, and he's an amazing shot putter. He did well at that meet. And then shortly after that, he got picked up by Duluth Trading Company because he's a bigger guy. He may or may not suffer from plumber butt. I actually don't know. But they connected, and now his title's one of his sponsors. He still has a lot of other sponsors. I was looking at his website yesterday. He has a lot of other sponsors, but a new big sponsor for him is Duluth Trading Company, which I think is just absolutely amazing. Amazing. Yeah, Adam Pierce says you were yeah. That's why I had to double check. I was like, oh, wait, is it? And I was like, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, but you were very close. That's a really good guess. Darth John Zero says, I went to the same high school as Joe Kovacs. He graduated a few years after me. That's awesome. Chris Yao says, space for rent should be the blurb used by a sponsor like Regis Virtual Offices or something. Could you imagine if someone were sponsored by Regis and that is what they said on the singlets? But I think there's rules. Like when you get to certain competitions, like the thing that he did at that meet, I don't think would be allowed at certain other meets, because there are usually very strict rules. Because a lot of times whoever like the sponsor of the meet wants their logo on like the bibs and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if track wants it to be like NASCAR, where there's just like logos all over, I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that. But, I can also understand the argument against it. So either way. T76 says, apparently a lot of people get impaled by javelins. Is that true? We had javelin in high school, and I didn't realize it until college that isn't the case with a lot of high schools. So we definitely had some. We talked about it a lot. You got to be careful when they're throwing jab. People always got yelled at all the time. Albert Lung says, I find myself quite enjoying the Pegasus Trail too. I think it's an underrated shoe. I agree. I really like it. I wish like the regular Pegasus were more like the Peg Trail in terms of like the feeling underfoot. But I've had some issues with mine. By the way, someone did ask yesterday if I got my second pair of the Peg 38s, because I wanted to test like a off the shelf pair instead of like my custom pair. It's still on back order. It keeps getting delayed. So, I mean, I'm not going to be in a hurry for it. It'll get here when it gets here. It's not coming from Nike, so it's not like Nike's slow footing it or whatever. It's just that color's on back order. So when it gets in, I'll do that. But the Peg Trail 3 is out, and I just saw, was it Believe on the Run? They just posted a photo of theirs. They got theirs nice and dirty. And they have like a nice like white color one for the Peg Trail 3. And I haven't read what they said about it, but they said like, oh boy, we're losing the camera here. Man, that's early. I'm having some camera issues lately. I'm gonna switch over to the webcam. But they were saying that like there's some good stuff and there's some bad stuff about it. So I'll be surprised. Dr. Dresch says Florida doesn't have Jav. That seems like very not Florida to not have javelin. I feel like if I were to pick a state that had javelin, a potentially dangerous sport where people can get accidentally impaled, I feel like Florida would be a place you could do that. A lot of good pole vaulters come out of Florida too. Everyone always says that's because the weather's nice and you can vault year round. Yeah. Martha always bringing it back to the boars. Is the javelin related etymologically to javelinas, the wild boar-like animal? I don't know. But you know who's been running into javelinas? Camille Herron. She's been spotting them on her runs. She's been running into tarantulas and javelinas on her run regularly, as well as snakes. I don't know if those snakes are poisonous or not. She doesn't always say, but she runs into all those creatures on a regular basis. Frank said, kids were practicing discus at the track during my workout yesterday. Discus is deceptively hard. You look at it and you're like, oh, it's not going to be that different than a Frisbee. It's way different. I tried it, I think once in a track meet in high school. I was really bad at it. I felt like all the actual throwers were laughing at me because like, I'm a lot bigger now than I was in high school, just to put that in perspective. So I was like this tiny little guy showing up in my 2-inch split shorts and trying to throw a disc. It was pretty bad. Benny says, sorry if someone asked, would you try the Skechers Max Road 5? Seth rated it highly. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I don't really have it high on my list. I keep thinking that this year I'm not going to look at a lot of Max Cushion shoes because they rarely excite me all that much. That being said, like, I ran in the Fresh Foam War 3 today and I really like this shoe. So maybe, but like it's not really on my radar. So we'll have to see if I get to it. Maybe. All right. Let's get to question number 4. All right. So this person doesn't run for the US, but this person is certainly American, but doesn't run for the US. So that'll be a hint for you. But which Olympian and I'll give you another hint, early in her career had a meat sponsor, like a butcher, who compensated her in product. So I think it was like in exchange for like Instagram posts and stuff about the butcher, like she got like butchered products in exchange. That was a sponsorship. Which Olympian early in her career had a butcher or a meat sponsor? Anyone know? It's been talked about. It's been discussed a little bit lately. Yeah. Adam Fierce, while we're waiting, says, did you see the men's steeple heats? Guy stopped to fix his shoe in heat 1, then came back and qualified. In heat 2, a guy in a qualifying spot missed the last water jump and landed in the water. Oh, I didn't see any of those, but I will review them very closely to see how they're running. The main thing that I look for every time I watch steeple right now is like, how much stutter stepping are they doing before the obstacles, or are they like super disciplined about it? And number 2 is like, are they just hopping over them, or are they trying to do like the hurdle, like kick at it, or taking it real aggressive? Like those are the things that I'm like really looking at. All right. Martha says, I hope the company wasn't Oscar Mayer. No, I think it was like at I don't want to say flea market, but like a market where there's like stalls and stuff, like a butcher. That's the sense I got. Just there. Let's see. Any guesses? I don't think there's any guesses on this one. Pretty quiet. Mark Jangogo says, who is Simone Biles? I mean, that'd be weird if she like got a goat sponsor. That'd be weird. JC says Michelle Carter. No. Duke BB says Mary Lou Retton. That would be interesting. But I feel like her career went like skyrocketed because she was competing at the high level so young. Wait, did Chris say? Who said? Yeah. Chris says Rebecca Lamb Chops. DJ Roy says must have been high stakes. Yeah. Jahir Barrow says it's not Arby's. Shannon got the right answer. Shannon's got it. Alexi Pappas. So in her book, she talked about it a lot. And if you look up like Alexi Pappas, like meat sponsor, you could like Instagram posts, they'll pop up in the search results of like the butcher sponsor she used to have. And she talks about how she used to have a veggie sponsor and also a fish sponsor. So I just feel like she was at this market and just like went down the stalls and was like, hey, in exchange for social media, will you give me some food kind of thing? Which I feel like that's how you hustle. That's how you got to do it. And she's like, it wasn't a lot, but a lot of these smaller things added up and it made it so that I could pursue my dreams. So I was like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So good job. Good job, Shannon. That was a tough one. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. So Alexi Pappas is a meat and potatoes kind of gal. Yeah, I mean, she talks about how she eats meat regularly. I would have pegged her as potentially a vegetarian runner. But no, she talks about how she is omnivorous and she eats meat as part of her fueling. JC says Papa's Brothers Steakhouse would be a good one. That sounds nice. Sounds nice and familial. Shannon says she didn't finish reading the book, but she remembers it from the Rich Roll interview. Yeah, she's been talking about it. Brendan Kim says that would be a dream. Free groceries. I spend so much money at Costco for groceries. Think of the shoes I could buy if I had to do that. Yeah, I mean, like I would love to see like someone sponsored by like Amazon Prime, Whole Foods. Like I would also enjoy being sponsored by my local brewery. Like if Dry Hop wanted to sponsor me and put a little logo on the back of my tights, something like that when I'm racing, I'd love it. Not that they would want to sponsor me, whatever, but I just feel like that'd be kind of fun. But like a grocery sponsor, that'd be pretty nice. That'd be real nice. And I just feel like, then you just like have a pro athlete walking down your produce aisle talking about how good everything is, how there's so many options. I just feel like the ability for like cross marketing too is really good. So I don't know. Yeah. Chris says that was a bad joke. Papa sounds like Spanish papas for potato. That's true. Meat and potatoes. Yeah. There you go. I missed it. Went right by me, Chris. Yeah, Martha saw it though. She said, I see what you did. Yeah, here Barrow says Sage has a brewery hookup. He does, doesn't he? I keep forgetting about that he has a beer sponsor. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah. All right, let's get to the next question for today. And whoops, I put the wrong number in front of it. This is question number 5. All right, this one is kind of a weird one. I don't think this person has run for Japan in the Olympics, but which Japanese marathoner is sponsored by a piano? I feel like this is a very Japanese thing to be sponsored by too, which I think it's very like amazing. Yeah, like I don't know. I think it'd be great to be sponsored by like. I mean, they're really good about getting things like sponsorships over there. I feel like maybe not. I don't know. You always just think about like, a lot of people, like famous people from the celebrities from the US will go to Japan and like be in like, toothpaste commercial or like Hokkaido soap conglomerate, and be on the box, like that kind of thing, Mark says it was a rookie Murakami. That's funny. Frank says Yamaha. Well, it is, I believe it is Yamaha is correct. Yamaha Music Japan is the sponsor. And yeah, Jonathan Ward, I think you're the first one to get it. Yeah, Martha says Yamaha pianos for sure. Yeah, let's see. Jonathan Ward got it. Yuki Kawauchi. He was sponsored by, I think he's still technically sponsored because the information that I had said that he picked them up as a sponsor in 2018. I don't know whether he plays. That's the thing. But, the Citizen Runner, I have a feeling that guy probably plays. He was in education for most of his life. I feel like at some point he probably picked up the piano. And so he did that. And then it was supposed to be a 3-year contract. So 2021, he should still be sponsored by Yamaha Music Japan. So I think it's pretty awesome. Adam Pierce thinks it was the guy who did both 10,000 heats at the Portland meet a few weeks ago. No. You know what Suguro did though? All summer, I've been kind of like joking around how like Subaru and I have the same haircut, and I like to wear the same things when we race, half tights and a white singlet. But he also just got a haircut today, or I don't know if it was today, but he posted about it on Instagram today. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. Yeah, and first says like in Lost in Translation, Bill Murray was in Japan doing a sake commercial. That's right. That's right. Here we go. Chris Yao with the quote. What I like about Yamaha piano is that's all there in front of you in black and white. Like life, said Kawauchi, an avid pianist as a child before his parents made him pursue running. That's amazing. That's very not Japanese to me, or not very Asian anyway, from my Asian American experience. Not that he's Asian American, but from my Asian experience, my parents pushed me very much. My mom here? My parents pushed me very much to continue playing piano. I stopped taking lessons at 16. 11 years was enough. So, and Martha says, if he picked up the piano, he must be really strong. He probably, he's a citizen runner. He can do it all. He can definitely do it all. Awesome. And Cliff Barnett says, Jenny Simpson should be sponsored by Yamaha. I think she plays. Really? Oh, that's amazing. Very cool. I didn't know that. JC says Forrest Gump was sponsored by Flexo Light Ping Pong Paddle. That's so funny. Martha says every Japanese kid has to play a musical instrument. Is that something that is a school requirement? Frank says, but what doesn't Yamaha make? That's a thing. That if he had, it's specified that he was sponsored by Yamaha Music Japan. And so I was like, if he was sponsored by Yamaha, I'd be like, put me on a dirt bike commercial. Do they make rice makers still? Or do they not make rice makers anymore? I want a jet ski. I want a regular motorcycle. I'll take a V-Star. Let's do it. Let's get all these commercials made. Let's like bang, bang, bang. And then send that stuff to my house, please. Like that's what I would be like. Let's do it. That'd be a good one. Frank wants to know, is Mizuno a division of Yamaha? Is it? I don't think it is. That's not as far as I'm aware, but I could be. That's amazing. That would be amazing if it were. Then they really would make everything. Mark says Yamaha doesn't make carbon plated shoes, but that's what makes it great, because then he could have, isn't ASICS, is Mizuno his sponsor, or ASICS? It's one of those two. But then he can have another sponsor that, it wouldn't conflict with his shoe deals. Yeah. Cliff says no Yamaha rice cookers, only Zoji Rushi. Yeah, I wonder if they make an air fryer. That'd be something. Benny says, if any brand could start making running shoes, which brand would you want it to be? What brand to make running shoes? Right now I'd probably want it to be Tracksmith if they were to make running shoes. But if like that were announced like at the Olympics, like coming to the Olympics, and starting by next Olympics, these Tracksmith runners will hopefully be in Tracksmith brand spikes, I'd be like, I don't know. But like I feel like that would make the most sense, because I feel like they're getting big, Mika Kataya says, best sponsorship I helped negotiate for an athlete back when I was coaching was with a sewage tank emptying company, big bucks. Now you're talking. Runners tend to be very regular, very concerned with poop, very knowledgeable about their poop. That makes a lot of sense. That works for me. That one works for me. Yeah. John Nader says Garmin. What if Garmin started making shoes? That would be interesting. Remember when Garmin got into the action camera business? That didn't last very long. Yeah. Martha says, we need a sewage tank emptying company team with Iowa corn. There we go. We're touching all the bases now. All right. Let's get to the bonus question for today. All right. This is a bonus question because this person actually isn't sponsored. Well, they're sponsored, but not by the product in question. But they're trying to get, I don't know if they're trying to get sponsored. They at least tried to get noticed. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But here's the bonus question for today. Which hurdler recently raced her way onto the U.S. Olympic 100-meter team while she's not sponsored by this product? wearing Cool Ranch Doritos earrings. So I don't know if she's a sponsored athlete. I can't remember what brand singlet she was wearing or what shoes she was wearing, and she's not sponsored by Doritos, but she wore Cool Ranch Doritos earrings. And then like afterwards tweeted about it. And she said like, I just made it onto the Olympic team while wearing Cool Ranch Doritos. Twitter, do your thing. And so everyone started retweeting it like crazy. And eventually Doritos was like, I think just retweeted her tweet with like a couple of fire emojis or something like that. I can't remember the exact tweet, but they definitely saw it. So like mission accomplished. Hopefully that leads to a Dorito sponsorship. Sidious Mag tweeted about it saying that they are not going to buy any Doritos until Doritos sponsors this athlete. And I was considering saying I will eat Doritos every day. In support of like getting her a Doritos sponsorship until she becomes a Doritos sponsored athlete and just like making a big deal of it every day. But I was like, no, what if they don't have, that doesn't happen? Then I have to eat Doritos every day for a long time, which wouldn't be that bad. I mean, it would be bad, but I would enjoy it a lot. So anyone know? Anyone that I think a lot of comments in here. I think a lot of people know it. Stevie says Kofuzi wearing a pizza earring in his left ear. I mean, maybe. I mean, do they make? I wonder if they make little pizza thingies for my Croc sandals. I wonder if I don't. Can I do that? Dr. Joe says it would be an actual pizza on me. Yeah, I mean, there was a time. I'm still looking for it. I'm trying to find like a racing singlet with just a slice of pizza on the front. Like it could even just be a pizza emoji. Like I would buy that and I would race under basically a pizza flag. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyone? Christian says Billie Eilish. Carlos Grego says, if Taco Bell made shoes, they would say we were all about the runs. And he says, okay, I'll show myself out. Sean Devlin says, late to the live stream, wanted to ask, are those Croc slides true to size in your opinion? Heard they may run a size larger. I don't think they run a size large. I think they're true to size. But the thing that I will note for a lot of you guys, you know, when I say like running shoes are true to size, I usually don't. I sometimes say true to size. I just say yes when people ask it a lot of times. But I usually respond, I wear my same size 9 that I wear in all my running shoes. Is how I usually answer the question, because for slides, I usually go a half size down or a full size down. And I forgot to mention that. I was too relaxed out there in the field in that video that I didn't have any written notes to help me remember to say that. But I did put it in the description that I normally go with like an 8.5 if they have it. This I went with an 8 for my Crocs and they fit me just perfectly. But that's like how I normally expect a fit in sandals or slides. So I would say that they fit true to size for sandals, but it's not going to be, for me, it wasn't the same size as my running shoe size. All right. Adam Fierce has the right answer here. Here we go. Christina Clemens, 3rd in the 100-meter hurdles, wearing Cool Ranch Doritos earrings. Good job. Yeah, for sure. They were amazing. I mean, they were like, it wasn't just like a picture of them. They were like 3D. They were like, they were puffy like a bag. You know, I mean, I'm sure they weren't puffy literally, but they had 3-dimensionality to it. So pretty incredible. And Dave does say that Garmin did buy tax, and in the cycling world, a big deal. Oh, like, well, what if they like Garmin bought like Carhu or like Enda or Atreyu, something like that? That could be interesting. Martha said, if Garmin made shoes, the shoe would ball us out for being unproductive. It would just constantly say you're unproductive. I feel like, you know, what would be an interesting combo is if Garmin bought a shoe company like Enda and then also bought Nerve. What was that? NURV? The insole sensor, and combine those things so that way it could give you metrics on your foot strike. Maybe not during the run, but after the run. So kind of like, I don't know, just more data, a lot more data. That would be interesting. But they, you know, you're already getting a lot of foot strike information from like the chest straps that they make.
Can you see this dinosaur?
I've never seen that dinosaur before. That's cool. Whoa. She's showing me dinosaurs from YouTube.
Over 1,000 dinosaurs.
Oh, it's got a long tail. Cool. All right, I'm gonna wrap up the live stream and I'll be right over. Okay. She's ready to play. All right. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I think it's just amazing that she did that. I love like the way that like there's like a certain like buzz to the track trials that are just super fun for me. So I've been enjoying like all this talk about like these other like weird sponsorships, shouting out brands in like a way that like the brands are responding, you know, which I'm enjoying. I feel like the athletes are responding, like interacting with a lot of not only media but also like fans on Twitter and stuff like that too. So it's just been really, really cool. So I've been enjoying it all. Yeah. Yeah, Dave said DC Rainmaker recently did an article of training stats and Garmin. Let's check that out. I haven't been really watching. I've been watching a lot of YouTube, but all my YouTube is swimming YouTube. Oh, by the way, today, well, this would be a good way to wrap it up. I think that's a good kind of way to end it. Well, you guys had a lot of questions. Let me get to some of these questions real quick. I'll try to get them real quick. Steven Anthony says, what should my peak mileage be for my first marathon training? 55 or 70? I'd say probably 55 is probably a better number, but it depends on where you're coming from. If you're a high mileage runner already and have been doing lots of like half marathons and stuff, or have run other endurance events, not necessarily running, but have done other endurance activities, 70 could be a good number for you. But most people probably don't even like peak at 55 for their first marathons. So like, you know, it would just kind of depend on where you're coming from. But 70 is usually is probably not most people's first marathon peak week of mileage. Steven is hoping to BQ. Yeah, I mean, I need closer to 70 to BQ. I think most people probably don't. I think I need 70 to BQ, but I think that going into yeah. So, but I think it kind of depends. But I don't think 70 just doesn't seem necessarily right. All right. Let's see what was another one. Zayed Zamarel said, what would be your top 3 budget road racing shoe for daily trainers? I'm not really sure I understand the question, but generally I'll lay it out for top 3 budget. You know, for budget, I look for last year's shoes. You know, I don't try to find like the best cheap shoe. I try to find the best shoe at the best deal. Right now, the Endorphin Speed seems to be on sale in a lot of places. And I think that's probably one of the best. Nova Blast 1 is on sale right now in a lot of places too. So I feel like that's another really good deal. So those would be probably the first 2 that I would look for. All right. And one was like, Andrew Bostic says, hey, Kawuzi, what do you think about running with water? I think in the summer you kind of have to. In the winter, you could probably get around along without it, depending on the distance. Maybe some, you know, gels that are a little bit more voluminous will be fine. Yeah, I think you really got to do it. And that's why I've been looking at a lot of waist packs lately, like hip belts kind of thing. And then Will says, any tips for starting a running YouTube channel? I would say like find out think about like who you're talking to, and find like your niche audience. So like super niche down, and find other people, like make a video like kind of like about you for people like you. That's kind of the main thing that I would say. And Daniel Moore says, why are running shoes such a big deal? Because running is awesome. That's why. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for now. And then tomorrow's video is going to be about the track work that I did yesterday. But coming up, there's going to be a lot more swimming content coming up because I got to get ready for that triathlon, and I don't know how I'm going to swim the distance so far. But I signed up for a gym membership. I just found out that the gym next to the grocery store that I go to has a pool. I didn't know that. It's been there for a couple of years, and I always thought it didn't have a pool, but it has a pool. It's not the nicest gym, but the price is right. So I'm going to be doing that. So there'll be some swimming video coming up, not tomorrow, but coming up. So it's in the works, and I'm getting ready for both a steeplechase and a triathlon kind of at the same time. So That's what we're going for. That's where we're going. All right. Tomorrow's video, tomorrow's live stream is the next time I'll see you guys. Same time as today. It's just going to be a regular live stream. Hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.